name is Charlie Banks, and I'm a 16-year-old kid who started the Young Minds podcast to spread the word of God. And it is my goal that through this podcast, you learn, you laugh, you cry, whatever it may be. I just hope that you enjoy it and maybe grow in your relationship with Christ. But always remember that this thing that the Lord is starting is way bigger than any of us. So let's get after it. All right, welcome to the podcast, man. How's it going? And I just want you to introduce yourself, and then we'll rock right on.
I'm doing pretty good. My name's Neal Baker, 17, and guess I lived in Valdosta my whole life. I haven't really gone too far away.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I went to Washington State. That's about the farthest I've been.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Me and Mom was always going to church.
Yeah.
Always going to church, and then I went to. I never even heard of Georgia Bible Camp.
I don't think I have, no.
It's right across from Valwood in Hayhiro.
Okay.
I went there for the first time because a bunch of my friends from Georgia Christian, they was like, oh, yeah, you should go. So I was like, all right, sweet. So I went there. My first year was 2016, and I went there for 5 weeks straight. Mm-hmm. And
good Lord, that's a while.
It's the whole summer.
Yeah.
And on my 4th week is when I got baptized, and I was
sweet.
And we had been going to church, like I said, my whole life up to then. But it was. Okay, so this Wednesday, I was baptized. It was July 12th, 2016. Uh-huh. And it was on Mr. Jake's week. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I like Mr. Jake, but it was Wednesday, and then it was like the next Wednesday was my birthday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, okay.
It was like the next Tuesday was my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I remember that. And then I've been going to camp ever since then. Went to Georgia Christian and Highland Christian my whole life, pretty much. And try to go as much as I can for the most part.
It's hard. I know it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather go on Wednesdays and whatnot on Saturday or Sundays. Mm-hmm. But it's it's one of the things. Yeah. I can't because of work.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if a Wednesday does open up, I suggest you come to try Northside's Wednesday because we have a pretty big, believe it or not, I don't know how big your church is for the youth, like how big it is, but I mean we fill up an entire room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
I think we got probably like maybe 20 people. 30.
It's pretty, remarkable though, because we had, because I brought up D now earlier, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there was because we had another church come in to listen to the speakers as well. Yeah. But with the amount of kids that were on the stage, I believe, it was around 120, 130 kids up on the stage. There you go. And we filled the entire thing. Really? Yeah, there was, and I'll probably talk more about that in another episode, but that experience, it was fun.
Really?
Yeah. And plus, I think you would have, well, actually, no, I don't know if you would have been or not, but I was going to say you might have been in my group, or I could have requested it, yeah.
You ever been to Exposure?
No, I'm not. No.
In Huntsville, Alabama. High American. Oh, man, it is so fun. It's it's July, it's December 26th, 7th, and 8th. Mm-hmm. But you get on there with the church, and then it's like this huge convention center.
Is it?
Yeah, and then like you have a group, like you and a couple of buddies, and y'all get a hotel room. Mm-hmm. But everything, you only pay like $50, and everything's paid for. Food, clothes, or obviously you bring your own clothes.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
And then, but it's really cool. I think there's like probably 2,000, 3,000 people that go. Yeah. And there's like this huge auditorium. You sing for a while.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts about D-Now was just like, because when you're standing up there with all the people that a lot of people and then you're just out and out and worshiping, and there's like there's people in the audience too, or in the pews. I don't know. There's something about it.
Yeah, it's like good. Feels like everybody's just. Yeah,
I mean you're real tight. You get really tight knit with them. I've mentioned it on this podcast before. I've kind of got a shadow, friend Ethan. Like he just, like it's funny. Like I said, he's kind of got this like radar type deal. It's like, oh, there he is. So, but they're also, wonderful. And I've only been at this. I don't know if you know this, but I've only been at this for about not the podcast, but my anniversary for a year's coming up. Because when you knew me, I was not saved or whatnot.
Oh, really?
No, I was not.
That's weird.
And then, so it was on Easter. I got saved on the 17th. And then, so the next week, I was baptized on the 24th.
Oh, really?
And let me tell you, that even has a little funny thing to it because the pastor that baptized me, I was the first person he baptized at this church.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
And then on top of that, my mom got rededicated and baptized herself.
Oh, that's wicked.
So, like, there's all these, like, little, bits and pieces that are just, like, that are so cool in my story. But, so you said that, you've been to these Bible camps and all that stuff like that. So, like, what else has gone on in your life that, you could say that maybe that adds to your story, or is there anything like that?
Well, I mean, I told you about Crohn's and IBS and all that other stuff that's wrong with me in that aspect.
I mean, yeah, that'll happen, yeah.
But I've been dealing with that since 2018, 17.
So, yeah.
From then to now, it's like, what, 5-6 years?
Yeah.
I'm not getting
So, I mean, at first, was it hard for you to, like, to kind of deal with? Because it felt different, like, with your body was acting different, things like that, because of the Crohn's and all that? Or was it kind of like, meh?
I liked it, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. As crazy as it sounds, I liked it, because it was like, they treated me so nice and special there. I mean, they'd bring me candy, snacks, drinks,
shoot,
donuts.
It's like, hey, can I have this? Yes, you can.
And then I had Wi-Fi. I would just sit there and chill for 4, 5, 6 hours.
Yeah,
that's what I do now. I just go there. I mean, it's like a little break.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you have to do that?
For normal people, I guess you say normal, but for majority, it's like every
6 months.
It's like every 8 weeks.
Or 8
for
weeks?
what I get. Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
It's an infusion, and
you
get like stuck, and they pump you through this bunch of stuff. Well,
so yeah, I guess needles don't freak you out.
No, I don't mind it.
Like,
and then I think mine's every 4 to 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, this depends on how my levels are and whatnot. Like, the one time I went, it's probably one of the scariest times, but I guess it was because of the first one. But
yeah.
That was when I got scoped.
Yeah.
And that was like, ooh, man, because you can't have anything solid for 24 hours. And then it cuts down to you can't have anything, you can't have any food. So you have
to
broth.
have that nasty crap that they
drain you out. And so you have chicken broth and beef broth, like the water.
And then possibly, like...
And that's it.
I don't even know if you can have that. Like, I've heard some people say you could have Gatorade, but I don't even think you can have that, can you?
On the day of, you can't have that. You can have water and that nasty stuff they give you, and apple juice. And that's it.
Yeah, I've heard that, like, that was one thing that, our friend Caleb had to do. He said that he had to just take apple juice, because I was getting updates constantly from him. He said, I've just had to take apple juice and just, like, mix it with the stuff and just chug it. I'm like, how did you, because, like, that also that like you get no sleep that night, I'm assuming, because you probably have to go to the bathroom like constant, or no?
Pretty. It just depends. I mean, I can sleep anywhere, so I would just.
It's like just sleep on the floor in the bathroom.
Pretty
just
much.
Just chill out.
Night,
yeah.
And but I don't know. I mean, I got 3 days out of work in school because it's just you're on there the whole day. It was bad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess looking back, it really wasn't too bad.
That's good.
But. Anything that adds to my I guess, I mean, my mom and daddy my first dad got divorced when I was 2.5, 3.
Uh-huh.
And, but I don't talk to him no more. I ain't talked to him since 6th grade, so I'm used to that now. But then, my original last name was Bussone. Bussone. It's Italian.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And
I like Baker better, but,
Yeah, but Baker is because my mom remarried.
Yeah.
And the guy that she's with now adopted me.
That's cool.
And that's how I got Baker. So yeah, he's real good, real.
I love that.
Oh yeah, I love him to death. I don't tell him enough, but.
Oh well, if he listens to this, he'll know.
Maybe we'll see. I'll send him a link.
Yeah,
yeah, So we've been living there, and I've learned. I couldn't describe how much I learned from him.
That's great.
In a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, all the bad habits from my first dad, he don't got them.
Yeah. I mean, well, in a way, I guess you could say that was kind of a, I don't know.
Blessing.
I'm not, because in a way, I guess that is kind of a good thing because you know what not to do. In a way, it's like you look at that and you're like, I don't want to end up like that or whatever it may be, so don't go in that path, And
I think it's neat. I try not, like basically what you said, I didn't have any good role models. I just knew what I didn't want to be like. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of...
I mean, and that's one thing that God's given me, too, is, like, through the church and stuff, I've gotten... And people, other podcasters, too, I can go and ask them questions, things like that and whatnot, and they'll answer it.
Yeah.
And may not always have the answer. Well, you know what? They're human, just like we are. But, at least they're willing to help. you know, and answer the questions, you know, things like that.
Mr. Dylan Guthrie, you know him?
I don't think so, no.
Well, he's a preacher at my first church I went to, and St. Augustine, and he knows the Bible inside and out, forwards and backwards, and he baptized me.
That's cool.
On Mr. Jake's week, he baptized me. Yeah, I love Mr. Dillon. He was real down to earth, nice person. Help you do anything too.
Yeah, and it was funny because there were so many people. Like I was asking Steven and my friend Baines. I was like, so you know, because they weren't baptized at Northside, you know, because I didn't. So we didn't know how the process of that went at the church because I'm sure it's different for every church, you know. And I was like, is the water cold or hot? Like, I was like, you know, because I didn't want to, because either way, I was going to get woken up anyway, because I was kind of, I was too excited to even not be, you know, I was excited, nervous, whatever other emotions might go through your head. Yeah. And thankfully it was warm. I was like, oh, this was nice. But, you know, like, I'll tell you, it was funny because how they do it, and like, ever since 2020, and since I learned this from the media specialist the other night, was his job grew exponentially because of 2020 because they streamed the services and all that. Yeah. You know, and you know, they still do that thankfully because people that just can't go, you know, they can go listen to one, and you know, they have it up on the big screens for everybody in the pews to see if you can't, like, if your view's getting blocked. Yeah. And like, there's pictures of me, and I didn't even it's like I did that, like I smiled like that, or like, you know, because obviously I have no idea until I look back at them. But that day, my friend gave me my Bible that I use now. I mean, and this is this has. Do you ever heard of Charles Stanley before? Mm-hmm. You know, like, this is one of those nice Bibles that has the like life lessons in it. It's even got my name engraved in it. I'm like, how much did you? I was so amazed, you know, at like they wanted to help me in that way, like, and help me grow and learn. Like, I was just like, dude, like, come, no.
Yeah, I think when I got baptized, it was 11:54 p.m.
Good Lord, it's almost at midnight.
Yeah, and I called I knocked to Mr. Dillon's camper he was sleeping in, and I was like, "Hey, I want to get baptized." He's like, "All right."
I was like, "Bet."
Yeah, and then so we went to the swimming pool at camp. Yeah, and it was
chlorine.
Yeah, it was me and Frank Root. That's on the baseball team. Frank was there. And a couple of other girls that was there, and they went to the pool when I got baptized there. Mm-hmm. It was freezing.
Yeah, one thing...
I'll never forget that. It was so cold.
You know, and one thing that I'll probably touch on, too, at some point, you know, with some other people is, I don't understand why people think getting saved is so complicated. Like, you gotta do this and that. Just confess it with your mouth. Like, that's all you have to do. But people think it's so complicated, and you gotta do this and that. You gotta... So one thing that I've heard that some people say is like, oh, well, I gotta do this and that and get right with the Lord before... No, come with Him... You know, come as you are and get saved then. Yeah. And then that'll get fixed. He'll fix it then.
Yeah, and then there was the people that'll say, "Oh, I want to know the time's right." Well, I mean,
he'll tell you when the time's right. And you know, it was funny. Like with mine, to my mom, she had said, you know, when you want to get baptized and saved, you know, you just let me know. And it was on that Easter Sunday. I looked at her and she was like. She could just tell. I was like, let's go up there, you know. And apparently, I found out later that all my friends that were there, they said, me and my whole entire family were crying because we had no idea you were going to do that. Oh, I'm really? Like, I didn't either. So you know, like, but it just felt right, you know, because it was, you know, it was on Easter and it's just the perfect time to do it. Mm-hmm. And now, you know, Easter's even more special to me now than it was.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, can you? So me and Neal, we have nicknames for each other. Really funny ones. Do you remember, if you remember the story of it, which I'm sure you do, can you explain what they are? And, well, first we'll say what they are, and then we'll explain it. How about that?
Okay, so I named you Charlie Cheese. And
Charlie Cheese. Yeah, and then you're Neal Nuggets, all right? Yeah. And so what is that story? Like, how did that happen?
So our language teacher, was first block.
It was the first day, like the first or second day.
Block. We had to go around and say our names. And then we had to like relate a food that was the same letter as it, but it was like a memory game. Yeah. And so me and Charlie, we sat right there by each other, and so everybody had to say ours, so everybody knew ours, especially Charlie's. And then I guess that's just how everybody knew Charlie. Well,
it's because and I thought about it. I'm like, I could have said something like cheeseburger, bro. Yeah. But like, no, I just said straight up cheese because I couldn't think of nothing else. So that's how.
My phone is Charlie Cheese.
Are you real? Well, no, that's the funny part is that when you called me, a plate of nuggets pops up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. A plate of nuggets just pops up. Yeah.
Oh man.
So like, when you saw me, what was your first impression of me?
I like this guy.
Yeah,
I like this guy. He's cool.
Yeah,
I think I can rock with him.
Yeah, well, good to know. You know, I always wondered about that. I'm like, what in the world? You know, when people see me, what in the, you know, do they see just a short dude that's just sitting there, just absolutely doing nothing or whatever?
I mean, that's kind of how I am. So it's cool. And it was my first day at a school with more than 300
I don't remember.
Kids,
did we talk on that first day at all? I think we did. So
you
I guess
right of me.
Yeah, I guess it was nice that I. You know, and I had no idea it was your first day either. I thought you were just another kid, you know.
No, it was my first day.
Yeah.
Because there was a boy in front of me, and then I was behind him in the first row.
And then I was like diagonal from you.
Yeah, and then you were to my right, and then
and there was somebody else behind me. I don't remember who it was, though.
That Kia girl.
Yeah. Oh, you have a way better memory than me. I don't remember.
And then there was another girl I didn't like in front of her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. And then, so, like, I could be wrong about this, but are you partnered with, like, a clothing brand in some sort of way?
Actually, yeah. I'm partnered with 3.
Because I noticed that, because I was like, because I was going to ask, so I was like, what brand and how did that happen? Well, I guess I'd rephrase the question. Mm-hmm. How did that happen with the 3 of them?
Okay, so one of them I got put on. It's a hat company.
Yeah.
Now, when I went on with them, it's called Whiskey Bent Hat Co.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you know, it has its if ands, but but me and them, it was on my old TikTok account, which nobody knows about that.
I think I might have found
it with like 140,000.
I know about that one.
Yeah.
I followed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had that one. That was my big account.
Did it get banned or something, or like what happened?
Yeah, people kept reporting me.
Oh.
And it was for dangerous acts because I was on a dirt bike. So
ooh.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things.
Chill out, Karen. It's fine.
Yeah. So
anyway,
but I messaged them. I was like, "Yo, I've spent like $300 in y'all's hats. Can we get a deal worked out?" And they was like, "Yeah, go ahead." So then they pay me now to wear their hats basically, and they send me free stuff. And then the second one is Patchworks Hat Co. And that's probably my favorite one now, but I can't say that. But basically, you go on there and you build your hat. So
that's
like,
cool.
If you wanted a hat like this style or this style, you can go on there and you pick a patch, pick a hat, pick a rope.
Yeah.
If you don't want a rope, but you can pick anything that you want.
Yeah.
And you get all of that $25.
Dang.
Can't beat it.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's really
can't beat it. And use my code Neal10 for
10%. Oh, shameless little plug, huh?
Shameless plug.
All right.
But they had, and then I've been on with, I don't know if you've ever heard of Gap.
Maybe.
You probably, if you look it up after this, you'll probably know. But I've been on with them since I was like 9.
Yeah.
So I've been on with them for a while, but I model for them.
That's cool.
Most people don't know that, but whatever.
Yeah, because I noticed, I don't remember which one, it might have been Whiskey Co. I might, because I remember, that might have been the one that I...
That was on my Instagram, that's the first one I posted.
That, because I was like, what in this guy, what is he doing? And I was like, oh, he's like partner with them, that's cool.
Yeah, paid partnerships.
Yeah.
And then, I was going to get on with Carhartt.
Yeah. What happened there?
They wanted me to fly to LA, so I couldn't.
Oh.
So I was like, we can work something out this coming summer. But that was last October. Yeah. So it was pretty recently. So
that is cool, man.
Yeah, so David's got a plane.
Making a name for yourself, huh?
Trying to. David's got a plane, so I might fly out there. And
shoot. Might have to... When that happens, I might have to be like, hey, he was one of the first ones that wore my shirts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But, so, one thing that I've always liked about you, there's been plenty of things, but, when I told you about Operation Pagetism, you were, like, all up in it, and still are.
Yeah.
What did you, what did you see in it when I told you about it? Because you obviously saw something in it.
Yeah.
When because you were, really, you're still in, a big part of it, so.
Yeah. But, I don't know, I guess it was because, in the time, that would happen, that was, 2021?
2020, 2021, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So, it was, during that one real bad span of,
And they still get, that's still happening, you don't hear about it anymore.
Yeah. But it was when it was worse, right?
Yeah, when it was really, really bad.
So I was like, man, this is something good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too much good that was getting put out, so to say.
Right.
So I was like, well, if I can help it, then I want to do it.
Right.
And then you told me about it, and I was like, yeah, I need this.
Yeah. And it's funny because you still wear that same shirt.
All the time.
Like the other day, remember when you came by and you're like, hey, I'm wearing the shirt. And I was like, it still fits.
Yeah, that's why I had to get another one because it's getting a little small.
Is it? Yeah. But I'm surprised it still fits you.
But I love it.
Yeah. And
David still wears his too. That's That's I guess my doodad now. I'm not used to calling him Dad, so I call him David.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but that's great. I love
he
that.
still wears it.
And I know that my teacher, Miss Herring, she got one for her and her husband. Mm-hmm. She wears it all the time, and he gets compliments. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's go.
I went to the racetrack.
Did you? Did you? Cool. That's right.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, oh boy, this was pretty recent. Now, I kind of added this at the last minute because I thought of it.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell us what happened about your truck and how God was looking out for you in that moment?
Oh man. Okay, so my truck, it's a 98 K1500.
Yeah.
It's my baby. Most valuable thing I own. Not like priced like in my heart.
Your heart, yeah.
Oh man, love that thing by far. Nothing can replace it. So I guess I'll give you a little backstory on it.
Uh-huh.
So I guess people can know why I like it so much. So my Uncle Gary, 1995. Okay, he put in a special order for what he looked at as his perfect truck. Okay, came in 98. And he had it for a while. Well, my Uncle Matt, which is actually, he was been messing me about getting some of your shirts. He's a cop.
Cool.
And all my whole family's cops on that side.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Yeah, so my Uncle Matt drove it for maybe a year or two, and blew the motor up in it. That's why the paint on the hood was bad, which a lot of people think in that video on my TikTok, the one that blew up, that was blood. No, that's just rust. So I got tired of answering those. There's like 800 comments.
So what, did you have to do a video on that? Like, it's not blood, it's a rust, bro. Like,
no, I just let people think what they want. I mean, it's more comments.
Yeah.
It's like whatever.
It's like whatever.
I can't answer the same question so many times. But then David got it running like a top, perfect. And then that's when him and Mom met.
Yeah.
And so I never got the truck given to me. I guess I worked I worked a lot for him because I was 13.
Yeah.
And so he told me to write my hours down. I was like, oh my gosh, whatever. So I wrote my hours down. I think I had like 900 hours that I had worked. And for my 16th birthday, I got the truck.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yes, finally. So
I know you love that thing.
Oh, man. So I got my first set of wheels. And then I sold them. I lied. I got my lift.
Yeah.
Which is like, I was excited about that. Then I got another set of wheels. Then I sold those wheels. And I traded those for another set of wheels, a boat, 2 subs, and $300, and a trolling motor. Mm-hmm. And then since then I've sold all of that besides the boat and trolling motor, and then I bought what was on there to begin with, or what was on there when I got it wrecked. I bought those wheels, and then I paid $2,500 for some tires for those wheels, and then I was going. So I guess now we can get into why.
So you've put a lot of money into this truck.
I got $16,000 in cosmetics.
Well, yeah.
I've gotten sponsors like.
Yeah, that's true.
The FCK light bars. They sponsor me. They pay me. They send me a bunch of free stuff. I actually just got a shipment yesterday from them.
Yeah.
And I had my star lights done. Loved that. That was probably one of my favorite things. But so basically, what happened is. I'm going to T3 in Publix, right? Mm-hmm. So you know how there's that stop sign? Well, I was pulling out, I don't know how to describe it so they would know. But, so this lady was pulling out onto a 5-lane road, 2 on each side and a turning lane. And I guess it was 6 because there was 2 turning lanes.
Yeah.
So she was pulling out. So I'm coming north and she's looking to her right. Well, I'm coming like a full head of steam from my left. Or from her left, and she was looking to the right. It was an older lady, it was like 85, 90.
Oh gosh!
And all I saw was the line in the back of her head, so I was like, "Yeah, she's not paying attention." Well, she was pulling out, so I swerved to the left, and she hit the gas and T-boned me. Well, because my truck's big, she missed pretty much like it was almost at her windshield where she hit me at. That's how because she has a normal car and my truck's kind of big. And my back tire ran her over. Not ran her over. Ran her car over.
Ran her car, yeah.
Yeah, and then it flipped me. And then what was actually pretty neat about it is I got knocked out, and I woke up and I didn't have, I don't know if I can say that, I didn't have a seatbelt on, but I guess it's part of it.
I mean, you're not the only one that's not had their seatbelt on. I mean,
But I had my windows down. When I woke up, my truck was running, my music was playing.
Yeah.
And I look, I'm not that big of a dude. I'm not, and I'm laying. So my truck's on its driver's side, just sitting there. I turn my truck off, And I was like, what just happened? And I looked down, and I was like, man, my back hurts, my elbow. I was feeling I didn't have any blood. I had some glass in my face. I still got glass in my face, but I was looking down, and I was like, why not? Why? I'm laying in the road. How am I not bleeding? And my head was laying like this, and what made it where I didn't hit my head or my elbow on the road was my Bible. Yeah.
Ooh, I just got like.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was. Okay. I looked down and I was like, what in the world? And the cool part about that Bible is that was the Bible I got the night that I got baptized. Yeah, because I got the Bible Lord at camp. And so I was sitting there like that, and I woke up, I looked, and I was like, what in the world? And it was, so I've always had this bookmark in the same spot. It's, I love Romans 3, okay? Yeah. So that's where my bookmark was. Well, I pulled it open, and here's the crazier part.
Was it not in Romans 3?
It was not. Else? It was somewhere else, okay? And so, I can't remember. I can't remember the...
I mean, do you remember, like, the context of, like, what the verse was?
Oh, I remember the verse for the most part, but I don't remember, like, where it was and whatnot. But it said... what did it say? It said, I think I might have it written down in front. Give me a second.
Yeah.
It's,
But that is... Oh my gosh, that is
It was pretty wild.
I just got dang chill bumps from that. I'm so glad I asked you the question.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
Let me go to my Bible app right here.
Yeah, everybody's got the same Bible app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was basically it was like kind of those like don't worry about what's happening now because good things are gonna come. That's not obviously it's not what it was, but that's kind of about what it was.
That is.
But yeah,
crazy.
and I read that and I was like, it was. But the craziest part about that is it was the first verse at the top left of the page, and that it started a new verse, and I was like, what are the chances?
Whoa.
So I read that and I was like, whoa. So then,
well, God was there in that moment.
Well, see, here's another crazy part about it.
Oh my gosh, there's
more.
more.
People was asking me, they was like, hey, did anybody help you out or whatnot? And I was like, yeah, there was a guy. He was about 5'10". He had a beard, or he was like 5'10", 6'2". He looked really big, but I mean, I'm laying on the ground. So I was telling everybody he was about 5'10" or so.
Mm-hmm.
Had a real big beard, had a gray shirt, and like pajama pants on and slippers. And he pulled the glass off. He pulled my windshield off, and I got up and walked out.
Yeah. And do you have any major injuries either?
Well, yeah. Hold on, I'll get there. So
okay.
Everybody I talked to said there was no guy there. There was nobody there. And I was like, so I got thinking about it. And so, like, even up to this day, I haven't seen anybody wearing that or looks like that. There's only one person that has worn that every day I've seen him, and that looks like that. And that was Bubba, which is my grandpa. Oh. And he died like a month before my wreck.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, dude.
Whoa.
It was crazy.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. All right. Woo!
Yeah, it was pretty wicked.
Yeah.
But and then obviously I had a really bad concussion.
Yeah.
Well, they loaded my truck up. I got a bunch of videos of it because it's just
I've seen the pictures. Trust me. Yeah.
And I posted it on Snapchat. I posted a picture of it, and I was like, can't believe it. And I had 14,000 people view that story, and which on Snapchat that's a lot of views for Snapchat.
Yeah.
And I had like 700 screenshots. A bunch of people was after me, so I was like, well, I don't care to tell everybody, you know. I mean, I do, but some people, but I don't care to talk to everybody. So I just turned my phone off and whatnot. So like 2 hours went by, and all my adrenaline settled down, and my back was killing me. My whole rest of my body's killing me. So I went to the hospital. I was in the hospital for 6 hours.
Yeah.
And they ran a bunch of tests on me, obviously for 6 hours.
Yeah.
And then I still haven't gotten anything from insurance yet, which, I mean, that's another story in its own. But then recently I'm still going through it. They said I have a severe weakness on the left side of my body. Mm-hmm. I have to get another brain scan next week. I went to Tallahassee like 4 times in the last 2 weeks.
I mean, was that because of the wreck, or was that something you had? You know?
All that was because of the wreck. And then it's making my Crohn's act up really bad because of the wreck. And, I mean, obviously I have this is my 6th concussion. So it's like, I've gotten all football.
And you're still very smart and level-headed. Yeah.
trying to.
Yeah.
But and then I got something wrong with my eyes. Everything's always blurry.
Well, hey, like, I won't lie, you are very expressive with your eyes. I know the people listening, you cannot see him, but trust me, this man can spread his eyes in so many different ways. I can't even like.
Well, they get real dry now too.
Yeah, like. I still have the. You remember when I sent you that picture of the can of Beanie Weenies, and that's a whole story in itself.
Yes.
I have that. Like I saved that to my phone.
Yeah.
I thought it was so funny. Like, I don't know why. I think we were doing some sort of project or something in our English class, and we said that we were going to get like 5,000 cans of Beanie Weenies, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to find these and get these and send you a picture.
Well, it was cool because you was on like a trip or something. I think.
I don't know. No.
It was, I don't know, it was like a green can of Beanie Weenies, I think. That's how I remember it. It was like a Popeye can of Beanie Weenies.
I was like, and you're like, Beanie Weenies! I was like...
I was so excited.
Yeah.
But then I guess from the rest of that, I mean, the wreck in its own was just, it was crazy. And then I guess I'm still dealing with the stuff and whatnot. But, yeah.
You have an amazing story to tell.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty neat. Obviously, I didn't put all those details in my thing on TikTok.
Right. Well, because not everybody would be like, that's not true.
Yeah.
No, but it is true.
And I've told a couple people on there in the comments. They said, "Well, how aren't you bruised up?" And I told them, I was like, "Look, I mean, basically what I told you about the Bible thing. They're like, oh, that's crazy." And I was like, "I mean, yeah, it's pretty wild." But I wrote that. It went 2 weeks, which I mean, hey, I'm pretty active on social media and whatnot.
Yeah.
And try to be at least. Well, I was out for like 2 weeks. Everybody thought that like something happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I posted that one. Finally got everything, my head straight on how I thought about it and what happened and whatnot. And so I posted that video, and it's at like 550,000 views right now.
Yeah.
So and it's still going up.
I mean, I'm just saying, because I will tell you this right now. You were not actually on the, like, I have, I usually lay out the schedule, like, pretty good bit for this podcast. You were not actually on the schedule just because we hadn't really talked about it.
Yeah.
Something tells me the Lord's going to use that story in this because,
hopefully.
I mean, I can't.
It's crazy,
I don't know what to say, like, because it's that is such a good story. My gosh, I mean, just to think, sure, there's effects of it, of course there is, but like, that's so much. That's minuscule, I would say, compared to what you witnessed. I mean, like...
Yeah.
Like,
and
wow.
then another crazy part about it is I couldn't find my phone, so I was like, well, I got to call Mom and David about it.
Yeah.
So there's a random stranger. I was like, hey, man, can I use your phone? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. And he didn't even ask it. So I called David. I said, hey,
I wrecked the truck.
yeah, I was like, hey, somebody hit me. My truck flipped. Come here fast and bring a tow truck. Love you, bye.
Yeah.
And I called Mom.
Yeah,
So me and David, we've had this talk a million times about whenever, not if, but when you get into a wreck, what to say to Mom. I said, hey, Mom, I was talking about this. I said, hey, Mom, I got in a wreck. My truck flipped. I'm over here by Publix. Love you, bye.
And just hung up.
Yeah, just hung up. And then so she got there. She was running. Everybody's freaking out. Cops,
and you're like,
fire truck. They're all freaking out, asking where the driver's at because they think all my rust on the hood was blood. And I had I just got this Yeti cup. Yeah. I had sweet tea in it, fresh, nice, cold sweet tea with ice. And if you look in the video, my Yeti cup cooler got mushed and squished in between the road and my trucks, and it's still on there. And so they thought all that was blood because it was on the road. So I mean, I guess it's reasonable. Well, then one of my she's not. I mean, we didn't date, but one of my really, really, really good friends. You probably know her, Alex Wilkes.
Maybe.
Yeah, love her. Well, Alex, her stepdad, DC, is a firefighter.
Yeah.
He loves me, love him. And he showed up. And his eyes, I mean, mind you, this dude, he's pretty just cool. I mean, pretty...
Was he terrified?
Sort of. He said that he was shocked he's never worked a wreck of somebody that he knew. And he couldn't find me.
Yeah. Oh,
so
gosh.
He didn't want to go around and look. And because he knew it was my truck. I mean, my truck's pretty recognizable.
Well, yeah. Well, plus you have your name on the back of it,
yeah,
don't
I'm
you?
Baker in like 14 by 16. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to miss. But he said that he was scared, and then he said me. Mind you, everybody's freaking out. I'm standing like this with my legs crossed. My truck's flipped over, and I'm leaning on the roof. Just sitting there.
So you're just like, I mean, I wouldn't say you're like as calm as a cucumber, but you're
yeah,
just kind of like,
I was.
You're just kind of like, whatever. People are freaking out when I'm.
I was like, well, I was in shock. I was like, there's no way that I just wrecked my truck. There's no way. I mean, still now I can't believe it. And I mean, I go out there, I'll take the tarps off, I'll reminisce, but I mean,
How long is it going to take to fix, you think?
The hardest part is finding the stuff I need.
Yeah, because it's so old. Right?
Sort of.
Or older, but yeah.
People are, okay, so the ones that are cheap, they don't have titles, and I need a title because of the VIN, so I don't have a salvage title, so I have to get it inspected. Okay? Which, I mean, I couldn't swap VINs because that's illegal. That's a felony. But I'm not going to do that because that's wrong. But, let me think. So I need a cab, I need a bed, I need a front fender, hood, and my grill's fine, and my bumpers are fine. Wow. And I had a dog. Okay, so here's another crazy part of that story.
Oh my gosh.
So I had a dog box that I was building for my dog Duke. Well, I had my dog box back there. It was almost finished. I was so excited. And I had my toolbox and my whip in town. And when I hit, my dog box fell over. And mind you, there's a dent. It's about, I don't know, 8 inches long to 10 inches long where my head hit the roof. Okay, there's a dent in my roof. It went.
Oh.
So like my head broke my it broke the plastic pillar, the A pillar, or the B pillar, I mean, and then broke my headliner, and then in my roof. That's how hard I hit it. But so back to my dog box. So my dog box is in the back of my truck. When I flipped, my dog box came out and pretty much it got mangled, and so did my toolbox. Well, if I didn't have my dog box and my toolbox back there, I would have rolled and hit a power pole.
Ah, my gosh, You're
crazy. And you can if you want me to send you a picture, I can get out today and I'll send you a picture.
Sure.
And my tire tracks or my tire marks are still in the area.
If you don't mind, I might have to tell this to my Sunday school group. If you don't mind,
I'll go for it.
Because oh my gosh, because we talk about
it's
praises.
Crazy, dude.
Like we've been like starting to say praises and also prayer requests.
Mm-hmm. Like a pits and peaks. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
That has to be. I'm not gonna lie. That has to be one of the craziest stories that I've heard God move. Because that was actually a question, and I can skip it because you've pretty much just But I've heard God moving, like at least in one of my friends. Ever since I've gotten saved.
But it was crazy because I was probably like that was right up to then. I mean, that was when I had my girlfriend and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we're for the most part we're still cool.
Yeah.
Love her, but she I called her and I was like, "Hey, you wrecked my truck.
Yeah.
Love you, bye." Or I didn't say love you, bye. I said, "All right, I'll see you later."
It's kind of a script. Like
pretty much, I was like, "Hey, I wrecked my truck, bye."
Yeah.
Just like that. And so we ended up hanging out that night, but pretty much up to that point, that I was like at the lowest point I had ever been in my whole life. Which I mean, this might kind of take a turn, but I was at my lowest point by far I've ever been.
Yeah.
And then I wrecked my truck.
Oh gosh,
I told Mom, I was like, "That's the only thing I have, Mom. Like you can't," because she was threatening taking my truck, as a punishment.
Yeah.
Because my grade and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was slipping up, and I was like, "Mom, that's all I got." Crying to her, "That's all I got, Mom." I mean, I can't. That's all I got. And so when I wrecked it, then I was like, "Well, what? I don't have nothing else now, really." And I got thinking, I was like, "Well, I mean, I really do. If you think about it, I got a couple friends, I got a house, I got this," and it kind of opened my eyes. And then, so now I'm 0-2 right now.
And now you have...
I got no girlfriend and no child.
Hey, you may not have that, but guess what? You were able to, think about this. You were able to sit here and tell this story.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked.
Which, again, every time I have no words for it. Because, I kind of say the same thing about me being born. There's no words about it. Because I had so many health complications, it wasn't even fun. Like, you can, it'd be like... the longest list that continues to keep going.
How do you remember all this?
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah,
but they looked at, like the doctor said, they looked at the scan, they looked at all the stuff, and they looked at me and they're like, this doesn't add up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had this and that and all this crap, but then I didn't show any of it.
Yeah.
And some people may say, why in the world, because I've still got, problems with my legs and stuff.
Yeah.
They're probably like, well, God healed you from all that other stuff. Why did he not heal you from that? Because he's using it.
Yeah.
And he's going to use this story in whatever else may be going on, to help somebody or who knows, help you grow in some form or fashion.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it was crazy. But I mean, obviously you've seen, I've had when I got my rate.
That was so many people reach out to you. It's not even funny.
Yeah, dude, it was wild. I mean, I had people on TikTok. I mean, I gained 5,000 followers in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. I reached out to you.
That's on my small account.
Yeah, I was like, saw what happened. What's going on? Because you know.
And you're the one of the few people that texted me on either Instagram or message.
I probably just sent it to text.
I think it was text, yeah.
But like, I mean, because that, you know, I've never actually had a friend told her their truck. So I was like, oh my gosh, that is a scary. Like, I was like, nah, I gotta check on this kid. What's going on?
Yeah, man.
You know, but thankfully, that God was definitely looking after you, and He was moving in your life, and clearly is. Because that was going to be the next 2 questions, but we've hit them like a dead horse. So now these are going to be some interesting questions to come into.
All right.
So we have about, you know, this can last for an hour, so we have about 20-30 minutes.
I can go as long as you want.
Well, I'd love to, but this is only going to record for an hour.
Okay.
So when you look at today's youth, like, for me, it's about 50-50, right?
Yeah.
Do you see hope for our future, or are you scared for it? Now,
now
let me say why it's 50-50, okay? For me, at least. Because if I look at Northside, there's so many amazing youth there that want to, you know, pursue the Lord and learn more about Him, and then help more people guide them to Christ, right? And then, of course, you look at our school.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, our school is, well, it needs some Jesus, let's put it that way. But, you know, I don't know how, you know, what, would you kind of say the same thing in a way, maybe a little bit? Or would you go more out of...
I'll put it this way, without depicting which side I'm on about that.
Yeah.
I'll say, when you walk into a classroom on the first day of school, and you say the pledge and half the class don't stand up, then that's where your problem's at.
Yeah.
And your problem's not, I mean, that's one of the problems, but everybody says with our generation, oh, we blame everybody else. Well, I mean, it's their parents' fault.
Yeah, I mean, it's the parents' fault, and then, you know.
I mean, yeah, it just trickles down. It's like a icicle.
Yeah.
Do I have hope? No. Do I hope that I have hope? Yeah. I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
you hope things get better, but you're at the moment, you may not see, like...
I think it'll get a whole lot worse before it gets better.
Yeah. You know, one thing, you know, and I've started to notice, too, is I don't know if you heard anything about it, but did you hear anything about the Asbury revival in Kentucky?
Say it again?
The Asbury revival in Kentucky. You didn't hear? Oh my gosh, you didn't hear anything about that?
No, I tried to stay out of it.
This was about, like, I don't know how many people. This went over 13 days, okay?
Yeah.
It was in a college in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. Thousands of people, college kids mainly, were worshiping in this church.
That's wicked.
And then there was even more. There was, you know, we had revival over at Northside over here. We had 40 people want to get baptized. And then, so when you look at stuff like that, you're like, oh dang, maybe, you know, I think I think there is, because, you know, there's so many little things that are starting to happen too. And, you know, because I watched the movie Jesus Revolution the other day. Yeah. Like, a lot of the stuff they depicted in that film is happening the same way it's happening today.
Well, I think, you know? I see what you're saying, but I definitely think it's going to get worse.
You know, it probably does. It probably will have to, unfortunately, because
but I think
it will. I think hopefully get better at some point.
Definitely, I hope so. Yeah. I definitely think the negative side of things gets pushed and seen a whole lot more. It does.
So, I can see. You know, you didn't hear about the revival and stuff. Like, you have to dig in and do your own research about it.
The only thing I get my news, I don't really get news. I don't watch it.
Nobody wants to watch it.
I don't watch TV neither. Yeah. That's the crazy part about me. I mean, the only time I hear about stuff is really on TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok's your news, yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, as bad as it sounds, but I mean, I don't really dig into it too much, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Gotcha. But
so it's like a yes and a no, I guess.
You know, as us being teens in today's time, right? It's a very difficult time to be living in, as we discussed.
Yeah.
Right? What would you say for people who, you know, are Christians? What would you say, you know, to help them, like, what advice would you give them to help them live out their life in a biblical way? Because it's hard. You know, it is hard. But what would you say, you know, like to, you know, about, you know, because there's temptations, things like that.
Definitely.
You know?
Well, I mean, it's simple, but it's not answer in my eyes. If you look at Jesus, he's gone, if you think about it, he's gone through most everything that we're going through. Temptation, you know. There was women back then, because I know a bunch of people our age, that's their problem. There was drinking, there was alcohol, and I mean, he overcame everything. I'm not saying that we're going to be able to overcome everything, we're going to be perfect like he was, but definitely we feel like we model our life after him, it would help a whole lot.
Right.
But yeah, I think
that's simple and to the point. You're exactly right.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go deeper in that topic,
right.
But yeah, I definitely think if you read your Bible and another thing is if you surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah, and also when there's a problem going on, surrender it to Him. I'm learning that because there's been plenty of. Because, I mean, this might, I don't know if this is a guy thing or just a me thing or whatever, but you find yourself, like, if there's a problem, you really want to help somebody, and if it's to help somebody, you really want to just jump in and just help them. Like, that's a problem I've kind of had. It's like, I want to jump in and help them, and I've kind of had to, like, learn, hey, you can't fix this.
Yeah.
Let God fix it.
Yeah. I think that's definitely, I don't know if it's just us two kind of thing, but I feel like it's a guy thing.
I think it kind of is. Because we always want to try to find a solution.
I mean, I guess because we're all guys, I mean.
Yeah.
But what's the question again? Say it again.
Like, in terms of, like, we were trying to help some. I mean, I kind of went off on a tangent on something else.
No, you're good.
But, like, what the question was trying to help us, like, youth navigate in a biblical way.
Another thing with that is, I think prayer is a huge thing. Mm-hmm. Not to only... There's a song that's been going around, and made me think about it a lot, but not to only pray when things are bad.
Pray when they're good.
Pray when they're good.
Yeah.
Thank Him when it's good, and that's really help if you need Him when it's bad.
But for our final question, we're going to jump into, one thing that separates us from, school, right?
Yeah.
Is you're a senior this year.
Yes, sir.
What would you tell an upcoming senior like myself to do and what not to do when it comes to your senior year?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it as much as you can. It's kind of, okay. So I guess I'll go into a little hole right here, but
it's fine.
I've always hated school. Always hated it. Well, I hate the learning part. I love people.
Yeah.
I love social. But now I'm like, man, I wish I could have another year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of sad.
And those senior pictures you took, fire. Yeah.
Appreciate them. Yeah, man, it's like, man, what am I gonna do? Like, I know what I'm gonna do, but what do I?
That's me. Like, even now, because I know this is coming up, and I'm like, what am I gonna? Like, I've done school for probably more than 12 years of my life because I've started school early. Like,
Me too, yeah.
So I'm like. What do I do?
Done.
Like, I've done this for like more than 12 years of my life, all my life. Now, what do I do?
Yeah.
So it's just a really daunting thing. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like I mean, I just enjoy it as much as you can and soak it up. Be a sponge and make as many friends in your senior year, or you might have to get the flip side. And cut off some people to better yourself, to get you ready.
Yeah, I've kind of had to do that a little bit.
I've done that.
But I've also gained more people in the process, too.
Yeah, you'll gain better friends and lose... You might lose one or two, but you're going to lose a whole lot worse than you're going,
And, find people, and I'm not like... I guess I'm kind of using us as an example.
Yeah.
Find people that you can, like... You may not have, see them all that often or talk to them all that often, but you know that you can come to them and just talk to them if you need it.
Yeah.
Because... We don't see each other, I mean, like...
We pass each other in the hall.
We pass each other in the hall, and that is
Once a week?
Once a week, not even that. So...
Before that, it was, like 6 months?
Yeah. And even then, we didn't really get the chance to talk much, because there was a lot going on in that class.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there
was a lot going on.
And then I got moved 3 times, so...
Well, to be fair, you wanted to get moved that one time.
Very true.
You wanted to get
jumping
moved
on that one boy in front of me.
You wanted to move that one time though, and I was like, man, I should have moved too.
Yeah, that was gonna save me from alt school.
But yeah, I mean, so that's what I would say is just in your senior year, just make as many friends as possible, or like you said, cut some off if you need to, because even though that's hard to do, you're gonna want to do that.
Yeah, you're gonna want to do that. I mean, okay, so here's another one that I've had a problem with.
Yeah.
Just for anybody that's, younger in high school, like underclassmen and whatnot.
Yeah.
Don't worry about relationships.
No.
Don't worry.
I'm not, because let me tell you, even as a junior, I'm not really, because I'm gonna go, to prom regardless.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go, if I find, have a date, I'll go as a friend with somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I'm too busy to,
I'm too busy for girls.
I'm not, I mean, I know that kind of sounds weird,
and
but
they're expensive.
Exactly.
They're expensive.
It's like with the gas and the girlfriend, I can't handle it.
Right.
But yeah.
Girlfriend. Story of my life.
But yeah, I mean, yeah.
But yeah,
just don't stress yourself. It's like you ain't gotta have a relationship right when you walk into high school.
I mean, okay, so in our whole school, here's the crazy part. In our whole school, there's of all the relationships going on right now, there's statistically speaking, you might have to check, give me a little double check on this, but I'm pretty sure there's 2 to 4 relationships that'll last longer than a year.
I mean, probably. Well, I know. They're like Landon. Him and his girlfriend. They've been in a relationship for a while.
Engaged.
Huh? No.
Who's the one girl or the one guy? Eli Willingham? No.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Oh,
he's
Elijah Barker.
Abigail. Yeah, Elijah Barker and Abigail.
I want to talk to him, but the problem was I just never was able to get in contact with him. You know,
he was in FCA. That's what I met him at.
He was a big part of FCA, and I wanted to talk to him a little bit because he ran the last FCA. You know, when he was there, like they let him run it completely, and he just did it. He did a really good job. Yeah. But yeah.
I definitely think. I don't know. It's just senior as a whole is.
It's kind of a scary
crazy,
thing, but also
it's it's like I've been wanting to leave this whole time, and now I'm like, man, I got.
Man, yeah.
I mean, let's see. It's what? It's March the 18th.
You got April and May.
And I'm
not
done.
even that.
And I'm done.
Because you're done before I am.
Yeah, and because I'm doing. Other crazy part about it is I'm trying to get out here. As bad as it sounds, I'm trying to get as far away from Valdosta as I can. Yeah. Just because of money, making money, you know. And I'm in welding, doing welding. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I'm in top 6 in the state for
cool.
Welding. Not as a whole, but in college. I got invited to be on the skills team, USA.
Well, hey, as long as you keep up with the people down here, that's all I ask.
Yeah, I'll keep. There'll probably be maybe like 5 people I'll probably keep in touch with.
Who knows? You know, might.
You'll be in there, don't worry.
I hope so. Who knows? You know, you never know. You know, with what I'm doing and everything, you may see me somewhere. You know,
in Nashville doing podcasts.
Yeah,
that'd be wicked, dude.
Yeah, because you know, I'm not gonna say anything, but there's a friend of mine. He's got this big plan that the Lord's put on his heart, and it's huge.
Really?
You know, and because what he said, he was like, well, you know, God, there's not anything like this certain topic, and I'll tell you later because I don't want to say it on here to spoil it.
Yeah.
But he said, God, this certain topic, it's not being like helped or anything, and then the Lord straight up told him, it's like, well, then you do it yourself. Do it. If you want this to be, do it. Yeah. And he's like, okay.
That's like that. I mean, this is a whole different side from that question, but kind of what you're saying, like Michael Jackson.
That's
man in the mirror.
Man
in the mirror. Like, look at yourself and make a change.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, I think the actual thing in that, like the verse, it says, if you want to make the world a better place, and look at yourself
and then make a change.
Yep. That's my favorite part of the whole song. Yeah, and then there's the rest of the song. Yeah, I'm like, ever since I heard him, I was like, yeah, man, that's good. That's deep. It's real good though.
It is. But before we get out of here, is there any final thoughts that you have? Encouragement, whatever it may be.
Let's see. I had a question for you when I came here.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about the whole Operation Patriotism thing?
Ooh, good one. So, you know, as of right now, because it's, you know, it's growing very slowly because of school and everything and just trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
I would say just trying to get out there and do something.
Yeah.
You know, because, like, it's just, like, we're both at the age now, we've realized that we can do something and make an impact.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that I'm like, you know, let's do it. You know, like, so I think that would be it. You know, I did a trunk or treat thing, and I think you saw that at Texas Roadhouse. That was so fun, dude.
Really?
You know, because I was, you know, throwing candy at, throwing them to kids, like, here, take my candy, and like, and I even, you know, just out of a whim, I put a donation jar out. You know, just if people didn't donate, whatever, that's fine. I made back. I think I made enough because I was asking the Lord. I was like, please, can we like at least make back the candy? Because we had to buy the candy through the money, you know, with that money. I made it back exactly.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's wicked. Mm-hmm. That's wicked.
Yeah. So, and just because the guy dropped like a $20 bill in there, I'm like, dude. I'm like, you know, you know. And then Wyatt was there too. I saw him because he was with his mom.
I love Wyatt
doing the salt and light stuff. I know. And I'm gonna send him this episode because
dude, we need to get Wyatt. Me and Wyatt need to get on here.
Yeah.
Together. And you,
because you know he I saw this was a long time ago. He built a lamp out of car parts, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that is insane.
Yeah,
like,
I built a bench for my mama out of I used a 1986 square body Chevy tailgate.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
That's about
That's cool.
my favorite thing I built. But yeah, man, we definitely need to do something again for sure.
We do, you know.
For sure.
And I know that we'll keep up with each other because, come on,
I mean,
we can't get rid of each other easily.
Honestly,
so
it's not it's not a problem.
Nope.
It's not a problem at all.
Nope.
But
man, it's been fun. Okay, you know, just catching up and seeing how everything's going.
Definitely.
And your story is something I'll never forget because it's probably one of the best stories we've gotten on this podcast.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Have a good one.
You too.
And with that, another episode of the Young Minds Podcast comes to a close. Always remember, you are never alone, and faith is action. So let's get out there.